my article reading, Why Media is Silent. Rather, why private media mughals around the world are silent about the most intriguing issues, true issues, like 9/11 anomalies, US NATO war crimes, 2.3 trillion missing Pentagon fund, and worldwide missing airplanes. Let us hear from John Swinton, the former chief of staff at the New York Times, who made this confession when asked to give a toast before the prestigious New York Press Club. Quote, "There is no such thing at this date of the world's history as an independent press. You know it and I know it. There is not one of you who dares to write your honest opinions, and if you did, you know beforehand that it would never appear in print. I am paid weekly for keeping my honest opinions out of the paper. I am connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for similar things, and any of you who would be so foolish as to write honest opinions would be out on the streets looking for another job." Unquote. And John Swinton again, quote, "If I allowed my honest opinions to appear in one issue of my paper, before 24 hours, my occupation would be gone. The business of the journalist is to destroy the truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of the mammon, and to sell the country for his daily bread. You know it, and I know it. And what folly is this toasting an independent press? We are the tools and vassals of the rich men behind the scenes. We are the jumping jacks. They pull the strings and we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are all the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes." Unquote. How this is possible and why this is possible? Because yellow journalism, which is lying and disinformation, started by Hertz and Pulitzer, got institutionalized using the Columbia University, introducing the Pulitzer Prize. That's why media is silent about Bilerberg and its one world agenda since 1954, when it was formed in Netherlands, co-founded by confirmed Nazi member Prince Bernhard of Netherlands. American godfather David Rockefeller's confession at the 1991 Bilerberg Secretive Global Elite Group meeting at Baden, Germany, would support John Swinton's conviction as follows. Quote, "We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march towards a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries." Unquote. This statement itself is fascist. This is the definition of fascism, a power outside people, outside government. Since the time of Spanish War, US media reinvented and embraced yellow journalism when Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer sold the non-existent Spanish word to the American people, in support of hegemony, assuring on-site reporters, quote, "You furnish the pictures, I will furnish the word," unquote. Since then, Pulitzer Prize winners mainly advanced yellow journalism in USA and around the world with utmost deception, disrespecting journalistic oaths. To add fuel to the fire, the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, since inception after World War II, initiated Operation Mockingbird to recruit American news organizations and journalists, become spies and disseminators of propaganda. The effort was headed by Frank Wisner, Alan Dulles, Richard Helms, and Philip Graham. Graham was the publisher of the Washington Post, which became a major CIA player. Eventually, the CIA's media assets would include ABC, NBC, CBS, Time, Newsweek, Associated Press, United Press International, Reuters, Hearst newspapers, Scripps Howard, Copley News Service, and more. By the CIA's own admission, at least 25 organizations and 400 journalists became CIA assets at that time. Subsequently, quote, "The CIA had infiltrated the nation's business, media, and universities with tens of thousands of on-call operatives by the 1950s. CIA Director Dulles had staffed the CIA almost exclusively with Ivy League graduates, especially from Yale, with figures like George Herbert Walker Bush from the Skull and Crossbones Society. In Fooling America, a talk by Robert Parry, the well-known reporter who broke the Iran-Contra story, had said, quote, "The people who succeeded and did well were those who didn't stand up, who didn't write the big stories, who looked the other way when history was happening in front of them, and went along either consciously or just by cowardice with the deception of the American people," unquote. In an October 1977 article published by Rolling Stone magazine, Carl Bernstein, who had worked with Bob Woodward in the investigation of Watergate, reported that more than 400 American journalists worked for the CIA, including many honored with Pulitzer Prize. He went on to disclose that the New York Times, America's most respected newspaper at that time, was one of the CIA's closest media collaborators. Seeking to spread the blame, the New York Times published an article in December 1977 revealing that, quote, "more than 800 news and public information organizations and individuals," unquote, had participated in the CIA's covert subversion of the media. Thus, the group of people who historically wanted the whole world as their promised land managed to hold key monarchy, military, evangelist as Holy See and SMOM in United Nations, mining, business, political, legal, strategists, analysts, scientific, media ownership, anchor positions, and have been working coherently towards re-establishing new world order of nobles and aristocrats at the cost of the old world, even sacrificing own people as collateral damages. That's why Pulitzer, one of the founders of the yellow journalism, established Pulitzer Award to convert all journalism to yellow. Rhodes, proponent of recolonization, scholarships, bred scholars as preachers for the United Kingdom of Israel around the world. Rockefeller and Ford Foundation and their funds have been promoting and supporting evangelism through NGOs commanded by secretive Bilerberg and Trilateral Commission that divides ancient people, encouraging fighting among each other, undermining common bonds, and cultures as the victims of organized disinformation and secretive censorship. In true journalism, there should be nothing like negative or positive about news. They should be reported as they happen, without bias and blackouts, prevalent in present-day aristocratic worldwide media monopoly. God bless our world towards open people's media around the world.